Alright guys and gals, this is Northman. We are back with some more testing Tarkov. This time, the M1A, SR25, and the SA58, also known as the FAL. So these guys are your DMRs. The SA58 actually is pretty good as well, an assault rifle as well. You got full auto option, so good to use it like that. We'll start with the M1A though. This guy is pretty fun. I'm not a huge fan of it over some of the other options. But it is pretty solid. You have quite a bit of customization. You can actually make it very similar to RSAS, which is kind of why I left the RSAS off this list. Also, I'm not a huge fan on the price point of that, but the M1A definitely delivers on that kind of build as well. So you got 30 round, 50 round capacity mags, I believe, and then 20 rounders and 10s. Pretty good hip fire accuracy. If you're used to it, this thing shoots a little different than some of the other ones on this list, so it took some adjusting of how I normally hip fire. But overall, pretty solid. Long range, low ergonomics on most of the builds, so you got to kind of account for that. You're not staying on scope very often. This is more of a mobile DMR build type of weapon, and again, very similar to RSAS, so highly suggested for those use cases. And honestly, won't knock it. It's a little bit on your mid price as far as these go. You can really do quite a bit with it, or you can leave it uh, pretty bare bones and just throw a red dot on it, and it will do very well. As you can see, most of these clips I'm using the Archangel setup with an LCAN. Pretty fun. You'll see here, this is where I'm showing a little bit inexperienced with the hip fire on this, and that iron sight on top of the LCAN I was struggling with. So I switch over to the actual one times here, and then I start doing some work with it. It's kind of funny. First shot, headshot on that guy once I switch. And going back to range, you'll see here, this thing is a nail driver if you are actually timing your shots. Um, I'm used to SR25, so it took some adjustment there as well. I don't know if like the actual barrel velocities affect your rounds that much, or if I'm just not used to it and that can. But I was having a ton of fun with it. This is where it really shines, though. Close range. I was going up against a guy with a hex on, I believe, and he ate some rounds. It was kind of crazy. Um, but yeah, you're kind of mid-ranger to long-ranger. This does okay, but it is definitely the 308 of up close, I'd say. Had a ton of fun with it. SR25. Now this is my primary gun of the wipe. This is my favorite gun in the game, and I will use this thing point blank or any range. I can shoot this sucker pretty fast. I'm pretty accurate with it, and I have a ton of fun with it. You'll actually see all of these clips. I'm using M80 across all the guns, being consistent here, kind of showing you the takedown aspect of it. But you'll see the speed I get out of it here when I run into the store. I run into Killa, and you'll see me do a double take and then come back, and I just start firing away. And you can take Killa down. I zeroed his armor, and he died. Long range though, you'll see I switch it up to a Valde, take that guy. Wasn't convinced he was dead, so I fired a few more. And then his buddy flanks, so I nade, and you'll see it. I mean, it's just such a solid gun. Even point blank, running Valde, I switch over and pretty much take this guy out in 2 shots. I think it actually might have been 1 shot, but yeah, M80 is my preferred round across the board. It is a ton of fun for me to use. However, Altons are not your friend. I think I hit the scav guard like 5 times in the helmet. You can see the flashes there. Go ahead and try and count them. I didn't want to take the time. But honestly, I got really used to this gun. It is by far my favorite DMR build. When you buy it, it's I think around 1,000 USD, and so it is definitely up there in price. However, you get a almost completely finished rifle. All I usually do is throw a grip on it, Elcan or Valde, and a suppressor, and then I start rolling it. So fairly cheap to mod up. You get decent ergo that way, and you don't really have to worry about much. Big thing here is we're getting to the point in the wipe where it's honestly worth it to run a MAGA M61. If you have it unlocked where you can directly buy it or you got a stockpile, that's ideal. M62 is also pretty good. Again, I'm running M80 across the board just to keep it consistent, but there is several times here where M61 probably would have got me okay. Honestly, if you start panic shooting, uh, I was really worried about how geared these guys were, and I started letting that affect my shots. If I would have just gone for face shields, this would have been over in no time at all. You can see I'm just trying not to give them shots. That is not the ideal way of using this. Also, I'm a terrible teammate, and I shot Carl here. I totally thought he was going right. I was trying to line up on the guy. But I did get his buddy, so there's that. And then he got me. But you see airframe, A18, I mean, we were running against some kid boys, and I just made distance, and that's where this thing shines. Again, long range, I mean, this thing's just consistent. Now, I haven't ran this all that often, but when I've been running it, it is a killer, the SA58. So, jumped into a customs raid, one of the first matches I had this build, and this is a build where I traded 12 weapon parts for, and then throw a suppressor, a hammer scope, and a grip on it, and just ran it. And you can see I just took down 3 of Roshal's guards. Boom, boom, boom. Amazing. Pretty quick acquisition, easy to adjust, take long shots with. Close up, this thing is better than the SR25, I gotta say. I don't actually shoot this quite as fast as the SR25. And honestly, it's a bit of the recoil, but also I just don't get firing quite as fast when I'm tap firing. Mostly because I'm still getting used to resetting and drawing down that recoil. However, full auto on this guy, so you don't have to be doing what I was doing. Here we actually have Carl get taken down with suspicious. You can see just boom, 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 and you can be pretty consistent at that close to mid-range. Then we went to a woods, and I think it was 4 kills here, 2 up top, that guy, and then another down below. And if you watch this, I'm mostly using the same position, but this thing is actually quiet enough that at about 110 yards or meters, they aren't hearing me with the suppressor I got on it, which I believe was just a hybrid 45, or 46. And it is a killer. I have a ton of fun with this. Again, if you're going to be using these guns, you should probably be looking at using M61 or 62. M80 works for me. That's what I'm consistent with, and I can consistently hit headshots. Honestly, it's cheap. It'll pan up to class 4 usually on the first hit, and then class 5 1 to 3, and then of course you got your class 6, which is a pain, and you should definitely use M61, M62, or go for limbs. And the last little bit on this, guy, is it's very customizable, so you can set it up however you like, and it's going to perform for you. It's good CQB, good long range, good mid range, and honestly, if I wasn't just a fanboy of the SR25 and wanting to get that to mastery level 3, I'd probably be running this way more because it's a solid all-rounder. I like being able to use the 308. And the SA58 definitely performs as far as that goes. I don't plan on doing an RSAS video unless you guys really want it. So if you do, leave a comment down below. If you guys are liking these, please let me know. Got a few likes on the previous one with the 8R M4 and HK. I will leave my builds up in the after this. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one. We need a new name for Sniper Rock, don't we? 2 on.
So you've killed 6?
I got 1 body, 2 body, 3 body, 4 body, 5 body.
Okay.
What the fuck is this? Not seen someone go up there all